Merhaba arkadaşlar, nasılsınız? Kanalıma hoş geldiniz. Bugün sizinle Türkçe öğretme deneyimimi paylaşmak istiyorum. Kişisel ilgi ve Türkiye'de seyahat edebilmek için Türkçe öğrendim. Türkçe öğretmeni değilim ama umarım bir öz öğrenimi olarak deneyimi size ilham verebilir. Türkçe ile ilgileniyorsanız ve öğrenmek istiyorsanız bu videoyu izlemeye devam edin. Turkish is the last language of my How to Learn collection on my channel. In this collection, I would share with you my self-study experience. I try to put myself in a lost beginner learner position who has no idea of learning a foreign language and try to give you a clear direction and as many details possible, including learning methods for each level, all the resources I use, all the exercises I do, and also how I make a language learning plan for each level. If you are not familiar with this collection, you will discover it in this video. You can also check out the other videos to understand better my learning logic and structure. I decided to learn Turkish because I got a chance to travel to Turkey. Then I fell in love immediately with the country. I started to learn Turkish and Persian almost at the same time. First by self-study with a textbook and other resources. When I had A1 level knowledge, I started to practice with my language exchange partners, then continued to B2 level with the tutor. I found that not very difficult at the beginning, I mean Turkish and Persian, because I knew Arabic and there are a lot of loan words, but Turkish started to give me a headache after the B1 level because it's an agglutinative language which is different from any other languages I know. Basically, in agglutinative languages like Turkish and Korean, words are formed by drawing morphemes together in a string. Each morpheme adds a specific meaning or grammatical function to the base word. This means you have to conjugate the tense by adding suffixes directly to the verb stem, and as you progress to a higher levels, the structure becomes increasingly complex. Compared to other aspects, this is the most challenging part of learning Turkish. I know it could differ according to the languages you know. If you are interested in this topic or in a comparison between Arabic, Turkish, and Persian, you can also check out this video. So now, let's get started on your Turkish learning journey. Turkish used to use the Arabic alphabet as a writing script. Atatürk changed it into the Latin alphabet in 1928 under his modernization reform. So if you know the Latin alphabet, it's easy to learn the script. You just need to pay attention to some vowels. Vowels with an umlaut works as they do in German. Maybe for English speakers, the might be a bit difficult to pronounce and people always confuse it with a capital I. And consonants like ch are an English ch and this one is sh. And the C is an English j. So it's John, not Ken. Means life. My life, my dear, Turkish people often say canım. And it's not difficult to practice and its writing system is phonetic, meaning with the consonants and vowels, what you write is also what you pronounce. To learn the pronunciation and writing, you can check out YouTube videos like this one.
B, ben.
When you grasp the pronunciation and writing basics, you might wonder whether you should start with vocabulary or grammar. From my experience, you need structured material to cover different skills. So I prefer a textbook. I used to use the Assimil collection for French speakers, le Turc. There are also versions in German, Italian, and Dutch. Basically, I spend 30 minutes per day starting one lesson, following it first by listening to the sentences, then learning the vocabulary and grammar, shadowing the text, and doing exercises. Every lesson's exercises cover the knowledge from the former lessons for review. Basically, if you follow this book, you can learn all the necessary basics. For English speaker, I recommend the Colloquial Turkish Beginners course. This series is a great way to introduce yourself to the natural flow of Turkish without worrying too much about the grammar. You can download the free audio from the website. But if you don't like starting with the textbook, there is also a nice website website called Turkish Tea Time, where you can find lessons and conversations for all levels. The site is well structured and you can find dialogues, translations, grammar tips, vocabulary, and more. Bite-sized lessons are based around casual and friendly podcasts. It's not free though. And there is also a very interesting podcast called Language Transfer, in which the host is actually teaching a new learner progressively in English. I found it quite refreshing.
Antisocial in Turkish is asosyal.
Asosyal.
So how would you say I'm antisocial in Turkish?
Asosyalim.
In the lessons, you can see how the tutor asks the learner to use the language points flexibly, which also matches my learning style. You can listen to it as a way to review your knowledge. You can listen to it while walking outside or driving. There are two other very classic and good textbooks. One is the Istanbul Turkish collection, another is Yeni, Iklim, Turce, but they are all in Turkish, more suitable for starting with a tutor or at a language school. I didn't use them for A1, A2 levels, to be honest, for self-study, but for B1, B2 level, they are absolutely the best textbook. If you want to study Turkish with the native speaker tutor from the very beginning, or improve your listening and speaking skills in the future, you can find tutors on websites like Italki, which connects you with more than 30,000 teachers worldwide. You can have a personalized one-on-one lessons for your needs, interests, or goals, such as for traveling or business. Your learning plan can differ. I often ask my teacher to focus more on discussing the topics we learn from the textbook because my goal of learning Turkish is for communication.
Nasıl söyleyeyim? I'm a mountain person, city person, İngilizce'de aynı ifade var mı Türkçe'de?
Evet, Türkçe'de var. Türkçe'de de aynı. Like şehir insanıyım. Like doğa insanıyım. Like nature.
Compared to some fixed lessons in the language school, you can book lessons around your busy schedule and learn anywhere. You pay per lesson without a subscription. If you're interested in Italki, click the link in the description box. Now buy $10, get $5 for free for your first lesson using my exclusive promo code. The discounts are only available for the first 50 users, so be quick. About grammar, there is one site I find quite handy for beginner level grammar. Turkishbasics is a very clear and structured way to grasp verb conjugation rules. I know we learn grammar progressively from the textbook, but sometimes, actually very often, I'm like a bit hurried and I can't just follow one lesson to another to learn a new tense, verb tense, for example. So I prefer to go through quickly this kind of a website to get the basic idea of the tense and conjugation rules, which also helps me learn the lessons more efficiently and understand better. During the A1 and A2 levels, besides following the textbook, one exercise I often did was verb conjugation. I used to write at least 2 verb conjugations per day. I don't just make a table and just like a copy. I also try to make sentences with the words I just learned. For example, today I just learned to read, okumak. I don't just write I'm reading, you are reading, okuyorum, okuyorsun, following the table. I would say bir kitap okuyorum, or in a negative, bir kitap okumuyorum, etc. The idea is not just to copy and repeat, but to use them. One exercise I did a lot while learning Turkish was to exchange with my language exchange partner, Hilal. Now she's one of my best friends.
And après, j'ai téléchargé l'application.
Ben de o zamanda çok mesaj attım.
Evet.
Her zaman ciddi biri bulmak istiyordum.
Evet.
At that time, she was learning French, and we were at the same level, her French and my Turkish. So we played a lot of games like starting one verb together. We made random sentences. She had to say it in French, and I have to say it in Turkish. That was very fun and effective. Then we progressed together, and we started to chat on different topics, often 30 minutes only in French, 30 minutes only in Turkish. One useful tool for this level is Reverso as the dictionary. Another website, the Turkish Suffix dictionary, is a pretty comprehensive list of suffixes. You can group them by suffixes, formulas, which takes into account of vowel harmony and functions. And of course, course, YouTube is another good learning platform where you can access a lot of interesting lessons and native speaker content. For beginners, you can also check out channels like Turkishle to gain more knowledge and know the nuance of vocabulary, but I recommend that you use it as a supplement to content. They also have an Instagram page. On Instagram, for example, the accounts like Helin.lingua and Learnturkishwithmeltem are also great for short Turkish learning videos. So for the study plan, take 1 or 2 days to learn intensively the alphabet. Then stick to a structured book or a website. You can study for 30 minutes or 1 hour per day according to your schedule. You can also study this lesson with your online tutor. Then conjugation exercise for 1 or 2 verbs. If possible, listen to beginner podcasts and Turkish songs as much as possible. By incorporating a variety of resources like textbooks, Italki, Reverso for vocabulary and conjugation, and YouTube channels for engaging content, your study can be diverse and comprehensive. It's essential to maintain consistency and use the language actively by making sentences and conversing in Turkish to enhance your learning experience. For intermediate and advanced levels, I highly recommend using the Istanbul collection books. The content is rich and includes many grammar exercises. From B1 level, self-study with this book is possible. However, I started studying it half by myself, half with the tutor due to my packed schedule. Starting with the tutor twice a week can maintain a steady study rhythm and ensure steady progress, not to mention preventing the loss of my current language level. But if you have a more flexible time, you can completely learn by yourself. Basically, what you need to do, go through the text, search for new vocabulary and add them to your flashcards, listen to the audio and shadow, and most importantly, do the exercises in the book. This is already a very good study rhythm. At this level, it's crucial to listen, watch and read a lot of native speaker content. For B1 level, you might check out YouTube channels like Easy Turkish or podcasts like the Learn Turkish Intermediate Turkish Coffee podcast. Use the Reverso dictionary I mentioned before to select new words in the CC subtitles while watching to learn new words on YouTube or Netflix. Another great tool with the same function is Language Reactor. You can even have the whole transcripts and translation at the same time. When you click on a word, you can have a pronunciation and save the original sentence to create a flashcard for review. For this level, another good exercise is starting to write a diary in Turkish. This is very useful for applying all the vocabulary and grammar you've learned and also make sentences with practical content about yourself, which might be very helpful while doing speaking exercises. To correct your text or your journal, you can send it to ChatGPT and ask it to correct it and point out the mistakes in detail. And listening to Turkish audiobooks is another great exercise. I use the app Storyteller to access many great Turkish audiobooks. It's not expensive at all and I used to listen before going to bed. It's also relaxing, very beautiful language. And of course, if you have time, you can watch Turkish series and dramas and movies. There are a lot on YouTube and on Netflix. I used to watch some Turkish dramas to gain colloquial expressions. The actors are like super handsome and actresses are very beautiful, but it's just too dramatic for my taste. Yet it's still very enjoyable to watch and to learn some colloquial expressions. For advanced vocabulary, check out different channels of TRT, Turkish Radio and Television, which is the national public broadcaster of Turkey. You can find a news channel like TRT Haber. I personally love TRT Belgesel, where they have a great content about Turkey.
Mimaride yeni bir çağ açar. Osmanlı coğrafyasının en büyük.
And it's the best way to learn the vocabulary and also gain new knowledge. If you're interested in geopolitical topics, you can check out GZT.
Darbe şüphesiyle ordu üzerinde baskı kuruldu. Ülke içinde mağlubiyetin sorumlusu olarak...
If you enjoy daily vlogs, check out Noluyoya, very cute couple. They show their traveling and daily life with great content for everyday Turkish.
Bu sarımsak turşusunun hazırları nasıl oluyor bilmiyorum ama
Hazır oluyor.
yapılmış hali inanılmaz.
Ben sarımsak turşusuyum. Hazırım.
Watching celebrity interviews is also a good way to practice your listening skills because they might cover all kinds of topics. Check out this channel where you can find interviews with big names in Turkey. For practicing your speaking skill, platforms like Italki, which I mentioned before, can be a good option to practice conversation with native speakers. One trick for more effective practice is not to engage in random talk, but to discuss topics you've recently learned about, such as from your textbook or a video or a series you just watched. Prepare a list of vocabulary you learned before and use that as much as possible during the conversation. That's the best way to memorize new words, by actively using them. So the study plan for this level: follow a textbook to consolidate your grammar and other language knowledge. Study 30 minutes to 1 hour per session depending on your time. Pick a video or podcast for 30 minutes of intensive listening, checking new words and doing shadowing. Journal in Turkish when you have time. Just listen to all kinds of videos and podcasts as much as possible. Add a speaking session at least twice a week and 1 hour per session. You don't need to do all the exercises every day. You can combine them flexibly based on your weekly schedule. I've been to Turkey several times, which is definitely one of my favorite countries. It was an amazing experience and also a great opportunity to practice Turkish. People there are generally kind and welcoming and always amazed that I try to speak Turkish with them. I feel like my connection with Turkish is just beginning. I'm also still learning this language and progressing, and I hope we can progress together. If you think this video is helpful, please don't forget to give me a like and share it with people who might be interested. If you have any questions or want to share your Turkish learning experience, methods, or resources, feel free to leave them in the comments section. You can also come to our Discord community to exchange with other language learners and also Turkish native speakers. See you in the next one. Bye!